And then the rest of the gold is sort of under Recon's control, something to look at for later stages of the game.
And now he's got to be careful. Mangonel's unpacking. Mangonel's unpacking! Oh, it's happened. It's happened. Terrible damage has happened as 15 crossbows all go down in the same volley. And this is why you do not play with fire, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be so careful around these bad boys. Oh, those Mangonels. Oh, they do so much terrible damage. Oh, that is really painful to see.
That was a beautiful hit from Recon. I would say long overdue, because Hera has been taking that risk for a long time, hasn't been punished for it so far. This is the first time here it's a really big mangonel shot.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Now, Hera going to continue pumping out units. You hear on the back line all of those sounds of the military production buildings as they pop out units one by one. He's got to be careful not to run into any more of those mangonels, and you've got to be so careful up against these Abbasid players because they can very cheekily just sneak one out. But now a whole bunch of lancers coming out, and do I see some more spears now getting into the mix as well? So Hera doing his best to try and hold on at this point, but having to force his way back. He needs these bombards on the back line to begin firing down at these lancers. These look to be elite lancers. Are we able to double check? Are they elite lancers?
Yeah, they're elite.
They are indeed. So very, very strong units. Got to be ultra careful. But now it looks like Hera is splitting up, has learned his lesson, and we've got ourselves a little bit of a battle over on the eastern front as well.
Possible.
And it looks like he's doing a great job of it. We take a look back over at the main fight. No real artillery in here, but Hera having a difficult time as more and more units begin reinforcing, and we can see that Hera's army continues to dwindle, and it looks like he's getting eaten alive from all parts of the map. Right now, we take a look at the score, and we see that Recon is beginning to pull ahead significantly, a 1,600 lead on the score, and is going to remain in the base. We see a couple of hand cannoneers coming out right now for Hera, so doing his best to try and invest in that, but keep in mind he's got no access to gold other than a couple of safe gold mines over towards the east of the map, and it looks like good game has been called. Hera has been knocked out. Recon moves on 3-1, ladies and gentlemen. Only the +1 range, I do apologize. But now going to be looking to take out this. My fear is that he's pushing in a little bit too early. He needs to build up this Springald mass. He needs to get at least 4 or 5 Springalds out, as now they, again, villagers coming in for the pull, and we see these Lancers doing their best to try and siege this down. Villagers one-shotting the first Springald, second Springald going to be going down, third Springald going to be going down as well, and Mista trying his best to hold on right now. Is he going to be able to do this? I think he's getting pushed into a pretty difficult position right now, Lidakor.
He's getting pushed into a pretty difficult position, and you see Vortex isn't shying away from sacrificing his entire army here. Pops the speed arrow so he can chase this army down. The con goes down, but so will the army of the Mista.
This is a very difficult spot for him. We see another Springald coming up behind this, but it's going to be a little bit too late at this point because these Lancers are just doing so much work, tanking so many arrows, and take a look at the archers as they continue to build up, and I suspect this might be a good game. Vortex has already got a villager lead. Now he's got a military lead. He's got the tech advantage at this point, and he is feeling very good about himself.
He has to feel very good about himself. He's going to clean up the entire army of Mista, and at this point, Mista is looking at 10 military population, no lancers, no man-at-arms whatsoever, so he doesn't have anything that fights this army off easily.
He does spot the second town center, but now the Mista are going to be distracted on land at the same time. Have to try and fight on water. He's going to have to break up his micro here. If he wants to win on water, he's going to need to spin. You see the spins happening. Looks like he might be outnumbered a little bit. He does have the healing of the docks. He moves his damaged ships towards the back so that they avoid taking too much damage. And we actually see the fishing boats moving forward. He sacrifices them, and he's really trying to hold on to his water. But keep in mind, there's actually a little bit of a push happening through here, and I think the Mista might actually be losing out on water. At the same time, his second TC is going to go down. Villagers doing their best to burn that one down, but Mista in a bit of trouble on water right now as the Hulks continue to decimate through his economy on water as well as his military advantage that he once held.
He still doesn't have the Royal Bloodlines, and there's a considerable difference here. 364 HP versus 270. Also a lot of Robodoquins behind, and that's just so good versus massed units. Unless they don't set up.
Going to fire out now. Look at them go. The organ guns, they're trying their best and they take them out, firing off at multiple angles. Robodoquin looking incredible right now, slowly getting sniped down. That cannon on the back line trying to do its best, but look at the Robodoquin, what damage that comes out. Oh my god, that does some damage. What the heck is that?
It is a very, very powerful unit if you can set it up and get some volleys out. And you see, part of that is the Royal Bloodlines, part of that is the support units. And Mista takes the win here in game number 3. Super close game, something that could decide the outcome of the entire set.
up to the north, and he said, you know what, you can fortify to the north, I'm going to just come down to the south. And that's exactly what he did. But a huge mass now beginning to build up for the Mista as he looks to come in on his enemy, and so many enemy units going to be out here. We see the men-at-arms on the front line going to be getting buffed up by that aura, which gives out plenty of additional armor, and we see plenty of horsemen also going to be looking to get in onto that back line. Spear's going to be having to deal with these units, and Springalds firing off, villagers evacuating the dance floor as they try their best to stay in the game, and Viper having a difficult time, but getting a pretty fortunate little pocket that he's got up here. He's going to try and hold on, and I think he's going to be okay.
Is he? All the spearmen are gone, and now it's only horsemen. I feel like you have been a little too positive on Viper's situation right now, because this push is getting kind of scary.
It's tough for Viper to defend, but I think it's even tougher for the Mista to be able to push through that. There's 4 houses there defending, and Viper making a little bit of a mistake right there, losing 2 of his Springalds to the enemy Springalds, and sort of like walking forward. Villagers getting pulled now. 10 villagers moving to push up, and Viper looking to repel these Springalds attack, and we see the Springalds on the back line also looking to get a couple of cheeky shots in on Viper, on Mista rather, as he pushes away and manages to take out that final Springald. Viper holding strong.
At 54, Viper at 66, and it's only 8 minutes away from victory.
And keep in mind, Viper is up in the Imperial Age right now. Mista is fighting for his life against Imperial elite spearmen. Bombards coming out as well. 3 big bombards sitting out the front, and Viper now looking to take an engagement here. He's got to be careful. These knights going to be moving through between the 2 spears as the spears now move back towards the bombards, get a pretty decent surround as the scouts get on top of it. They're going to try and focus down that bombard. There's no villagers out for them, but it looks like he's actually going to be picking apart the units. The Abbasid on the front line going to have a difficult time. They've got that extra melee armor going to be helping them out, but it's not going to be enough to be able to hold on right now, as Viper looks like he might be going in for the victory here. Keep in mind, we are on match point right now. Viper is up in this series 3-2. If he wins this game, he wins this series, he wins this tournament, and he goes on to be the very first victor of the Genesis, the first Age of Empires 4 S-tier tournament.
Mista, I feel like we could see the end of Mista soon.
I definitely feel that may be the case. Viper really looking to get in and do some damage. Mista trying to distract him and say, hey, come away from my base. Come away from my base. I have things back there that I need. You shouldn't push my base. But now we see those elite spearmen continuing to push in. What kind of upgrades have we got on these bad boys? Have they got their +3s out just yet? Oh, those are men-at-arms. We've got men-at-arms out now as well getting in the mix, but we've got the +3 melee upgrades. The crossbows on the back line are going to try their best to get in on it, but it's not going to work. Viper looking like he will seal the deal right now as he pushes in with his bombards, and Viper takes the victory. He's crowned the victor of the very first S-tier Age of Empires 4 event, winning Genesis and taking the game by storm.